Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Mike with smartoptiontrading.com. You can catch me there on Twitter at OptionsMike. It is Tuesday. It is Tuesday, March 23rd, and I want to go over some things that are going on in this market with you today and give you some ideas on a name called LYFT. So right now, if you look at a chart of the S&P 500, you can see we're kind of range bound. The market went up, put a new all-time high in last week. We pulled back to the 21-day where we've held so far. And in general, there's just no real direction in this market. Now, we do have Jerome Powell speaking today and tomorrow. He's up testifying in front of the House and the Senate. And that can bring some instability to the market, but I cannot imagine he's going to say much that he didn't say last Wednesday when he did his hour-long press conference. So we get through that. The markets look fairly good here. We have the stimulus money starting to come into the economy. And I think this market's ready for liftoff if we can see a change in the bonds. So when you look at the S&P 500, they were led by the banks, they were led by the reopen plays, they were led by energy. All those are cooling off right now. So if those continue to cool, we'll look for a rotation back into tech. That said, if the S&P holds here, it probably runs back to all-time highs. Going forward, going to the Qs is where my attention is right now. I'm watching this very, very carefully. If we see bond yields start coming in, specifically on the 10-year, we'll go over that more in a second. I think the QQQs can resume their leadership role and move back up. They've been left for dead. You can look at this chart. You can see we haven't been high for over a month. We've been weaker. And if you see that purple line, that is the 50-day moving average. Until we can retake that line, the Qs remain stuck in this trend, which is basically chopped to down. Retake that and close above that, and I think this Qs start to take off, and tech will start to take off with it. That said, if we cannot retake it and bonds start selling off hard again, the Qs will probably be the one that gets punished the most. And you can watch for a move back to the 100-day around the 309 area, or even all the way back down to 300. So you really need to keep an eye on the Qs if you're going to trade the tech names, especially the growth names, because those are the ones that are most leveraged. What everybody's watching in this space are bonds. This is TLT. This is the 20-year, but you can look at this as a great representation. You can see how bonds have sold off over and over again. In the last 2 days, we've got a nice little bounce in bonds. This is taking pressure off. This means the yield is dropping, and it's taking a little bit of a bite out of everybody's inflation concerns. If bonds continue to rally, and they rally up to the 21-day, which is that black line, you can see a nice move in tech. And if it really rallies beyond that, that's when the Qs will really start to take off. So you need to keep your eyes on this, see if they'll at least start to bounce. And if they do, I would look at the names like Microsoft, Google, Apple. And then I want to talk to you guys about LYFT today. Why LYFT? Well, LYFT is a growth name and a reopen name, right? Kind of like Airbnb, same type of space. They're going forward. They don't have some of the problems that Uber has. They're not in that London market, so they have not been hit by their contractors becoming employees like Uber has in London, which is a big deal. So if you look at the LYFT chart here on the daily chart, you can see here it has resistance at 68 and it has a nice little support area around 60. Get a dip to 60 and the market looks good. I like LYFT above that spot. Takes out 68. I really like LYFT. Why? You go to the next chart. This is a weekly chart. It shows you the IPO history since this came out a couple years ago. You can see here above 68, there's not much resistance left for a move back over 87.50 and to all-time highs. So if you like this space and you like it for the reopen, and LYFT came out and they said they're seeing incredible demand rising again, and they were very positive when they came out with a little quick blurb last week. I think this gets over 68. I think this one can run back to all-time highs. Anyway, this is Mike with smartoptiontrading.com. I hope you're all doing well, and I'll catch you next week.